So shifting into our next bucket, this is the management of time. So students who need explicit instruction in the management of time could be ones who are struggling with procrastination, regularly procrastinating on tasks. They might struggle to get started or have any time awareness, the awareness of the passage of time. They might struggle to remember really important due dates or appointments, balancing their social life with their academics, which is obviously something we want to help them be able to do over time, and accurately estimate how long time tasks could take. There's a ton that could go into time. I'm only going to show a couple of suggestions. Um, so the first I want to think about is this idea of prioritization. One way I like to think about this is trying to build in and use time language in classes. Marydee, Sklar, who has a lot of cool stuff in executive function, she says, let's be time scientists, which I don't know, I just really love that idea of like, how can we be scientists about how we use our time? So for me, one way I would like to do that is just helping students pay attention to time and using language around it by defining what prioritization versus procrastination even means, helping them understand what procrastination is and why sometimes they might be procrastinating. And then as tied into that, talk them through what their own time thieves are. We talk about that at Landmark. It's a silly but cute way of saying, like, what is stealing your time? Get real with yourself. Could that be? I mean, the number one time thief these days is our phones, but there are a lot of other things that can also steal our time when we're trying to just sit down and get something done. And even a simple activity with students that helps them name their own personal time thieves can be helpful. For some, it might be TikTok on their phone. For others, it might be texting. For others, it might be a video game or soccer practice that they really hone in on. So being aware of what the time thief for that particular student is can be helpful. We also want to help them practice making to-do lists, either of their homework or what they want to achieve in a certain period of time in class. Um, I think it can be fun to have them try different strategies for prioritizing that list. One that comes to mind a lot is Eat the Frog. So that was put out in a Brian Tracy book on procrastination, and I think the quote's attributed originally to Mark Twain, though I've heard that that's inaccurate. But I think Eat the Frog is pretty fun. The whole concept of Eat the Frog is if you have to, you have to eat a live frog every day, you should try to do it first. Because if you put off eating that live frog, it's just going to sit there on the table and it's going to look at you and it's going to like ribbit at you and look slimier and stick its tongue out and just stress you out and drain you of energy because all day long you still haven't eaten your frog. Whereas if you get up and eat that frog first thing, it can energize you and make you feel kind of like motivated for the rest of the day. Obviously, that's an analogy for doing the hardest or worst thing first, like get that worst thing out of the way. So that's one strategy you can use. I will say it doesn't always work for everyone. Some people really need to bite off really small, manageable tasks before they dive into the hard one. But others really like this concept of like, let me get, for my students, I used to say, let's look at your homework tonight. And I want everyone to identify their frog. And sometimes I would even like give them frog stickers or have them draw frogs in their planners. Like, what's the hardest thing tonight? And therefore, maybe you should try to eat that first. So, is that science? You have a science lab? Let's eat that frog. Is it math? Because you're dreading math? Let's eat that frog. So, it can be a fun way to talk through one way to prioritize tasks with students. And in general, it's helpful to practice that art of prioritization. So here's a sample um, way to do that. It's just a sort of nightly homework plan. And the idea in using this sheet is to help them sort of do a kind of brain dump almost of like things they have to complete tonight and things that are maybe more long term, but that they should start tonight. And then create a conversation about, okay, of all of these things, how can we make a list in order of the assignments that you want to complete? Some of the things I really love about this sheet is that, which was made by a colleague of mine at Landmark, they bring in time estimation. So it asks, okay, think through how long you think that task will actually take and write that down, make it part of your plan. And then it also has that sort of metacognitive tie-in of what strategies or materials you might need to get that done. So that students are kind of thinking about their work and planning out their work in a more holistic way. So they're practicing prioritization, they're practicing the art of planning, they're practicing time estimation. So it ties in a lot of different strategies.